Welcome, David. Let's start talking about your goals. What do you want to do with your degree?
I have several different goals. First and foremost, I would like to start an annual outdoor festival called Cactus Grass. It would be a combination of Texas hill country music, bluegrass, folk, and perhaps even some Tejano. I plan to start a concert series named The Young and the Old, and it would feature artists from the last 4 decades teamed up with younger acts, similar genres from the last 2 decades. I want to start a company called Cactus Grass Productions. Actually, I've already started it. This company would, of course, produce the Cactus Grass Festival as well as the Young and the Old series, but it would also be instrumental in new artist management, movie scores and soundtracks, and film location scouting. I would also like to write and produce movie scripts. The premier line in my mission statement would be family entertainment.
What is your dream career?
My dream career is to turn the world around one song, one dream, and one family at a time.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully running Cactus Grass is the most successful production company in Texas.
Who do you need help from or connections with to succeed?
Anyone I could find. I would make a trip up to Spiderwood Studios in Austin, Texas. I would plan meetings with noted performers like Ryan Bingham. I would have a department just to help young artists get their music on Rhapsody, iTunes, and various other digital outlets.
What partnerships do you want to make?
I am more concerned with making the careers of young artists and putting great music before the public through live performances, sales, and movie scores. However, I would have active collaborations that would be limited in scope but profitable in every other respect.
All right, let's move on to leadership evaluation. What are your leadership strengths and weaknesses?
Honesty and setting an example are probably my greatest leadership strengths. It is a tough business and not everyone is cut out or good enough for it. It is incredibly hard work, complete with long hours and more than one's share of disappointment. I would let my clients see me work harder than they do, and I would always be honest but optimistic with them. I may not always be the most popular guy at the party, but I will be the most trusted and respected.
What leadership skills or laws will you need to implement in order to achieve your goals?
All of them. They're like baking bread. You put more flour in than anything else, but if you forget the yeast, the least amount that you would put in, you end up with a cracker.
What leadership skills or laws do you want to work on and develop?
Well, all of them. Again, we can never stop learning or improving. The minute we think we can, we learn we cannot improve without more knowledge. Without improvement, we are like a bullet shot in the air. We may get way up there, but sooner or later we lose momentum and we begin to fall back to earth, where we will be quickly reminded of what we learned about gravity.
How will you overcome your leadership weakness?
Well, I don't like to call it a weakness, so let's just say it's not enough practice. So basically overcoming anything of that nature would be practice, practice, practice.
How about your leadership experiences? What leadership experience have you had in the past, say for work or school, volunteering for church, parenthood?
I learned a great deal about leadership skills after my mother died, and I have continued to build on that tragic experience by using it in a positive way to remind me that I can survive anything. My strongest leadership skill is the ability to lead someone else out of a tragic situation. Those are the times when the person does not want to hear what you have to say. They want to see what you're going to do. In their sadness and bewilderment, they will tend to follow anyone out of the situation they are in. It may as well be me, as I can lead them to a better place where life will let them live again. And as far as parenthood, I have an 11 and a 12-year-old, and tweenies are pretty difficult to deal with. They're kind of a definition of leadership all unto themselves.
What was and how successful was your leadership activity?
Well, most of my leadership has been construction related through the company that I owned. But there has been a lot of motivational leadership. I never really noticed that people are, paying attention to what I am doing until they come up to me asking advice or wanting to know what I would do in any given situation, and basically depending on me to give them the right answers.
What have you learned from your leadership experiences?
I have learned that there is nothing that cannot be overcome. Most people want to succeed. It seems to be human nature. With the right leadership, people will follow, and then they'll later learn how to lead. Without leadership, they become a drag on everyone around them and slow down the general pace of their immediate community.
What difficulties did you have as a leader?
Learning to focus on the goals of others and helping them to achieve those goals, and asking them more about their story and spending less time telling them mine.
What would you do differently as a leader now having had this class?
The most important element I got from this class was the 80-20 rule. I have a tendency to want to help everyone equally regardless of their response or their capabilities. I can see how focusing 80% of my energy on the top 20% of the performers would be beneficial not only to me, but to the lower 80% as I develop leaders from the top 20%. They in turn can focus their energy down the line on the remaining 80%, developing their own skills as new leaders, as I develop more leaders and multiply my efforts.
Let's move on now to your leadership plan. How will you implement your leadership skills to reach your goals?
First, I would find and surround myself with people of genuine enthusiasm. If an enthusiastic demeanor is not already present, then all the training in the world will not get them where I need them to be. I would prefer to train one with no qualifications, but instead energy and a great attitude, than to try and train 100 with the qualifications I need, but no drive or innovation.
What leadership skills are you looking for in the people you want to work with?
The ability to think on their feet is a must. I would prefer someone try and make a mistake than sit idly by and wait for someone else to step out on a limb. Babe Ruth may have had the home run record for years, but he also had the strikeout record, all because he was not afraid to go to bat.
How will you continue developing your leadership abilities and learning about leadership?
I would hope that, like any other goal or activity in life, I would look to leaders past and present, and not only what they did right, but also what they did wrong. It is one thing to learn from your own mistakes, but I have found it much easier on the soul to learn from others' mistakes.
How will you implement any of the leadership laws? Will you add value, make connections?
Implementation is key along with timing. I have seen where some people will respond more to one tactic than others. It is imperative to observe my team members and see what they as individuals respond to. Where Mary may be skeptical, Joseph may be insecure, and each will react to different stimulation on a different level. Mary may find the law of empowerment settles her skeptical nature as she begins to see the importance of her input. Joseph, on the other hand, may come out of his shell quicker when the law of the inner circle is applied. All of the laws work together, but I did not see any indication that one is a better universal starting point than another. For me, the two laws I would focus on most would be the law of sacrifice, so that in the end I can realize the law of legacy. It is all about adding value to my team members' lives and helping them to navigate the storm of decision-making and accountability so that they can someday experience the peace of personal growth.
How has your idea of leadership changed having had this class?
I would not say that it has changed at all. I would only say that it has been greatly expanded. In the military, the platoon leader is often the one at the greatest risk of being shot first. If he is a good leader, his men will come to his rescue out of respect. If his leadership is based on self, that is exactly the return he will receive on his investment. He taught his men to look out for number one by setting the example. Now that he is down, that is exactly what they will do.